Hello, math students. This video is going to be on how to solve proportions. So the proportion we have here is x over 5 equals 20 over 25. So what that is saying is that the ratio from x to 5 is the same as the ratio from 20 to 25. So there's a couple different ways or multiple different ways you can go about solving this. I'm going to go over two of them. The first one is going to be more of an explanation on how things work. The second one is going to be more of a useful thing and how I'm assuming most of you will end up going about solving proportions. So we see right here, we have x over 5 equals 20 over 25. So this side over here is the number, or is the side of the proportion that does not have a variable in it. So we're going to go from here to here. All right. And using multiplication or division, how do you get from 25 to 5? Well, we're going to have to divide because 25 is greater than 5. So we're going to divide by what? 25 divided by 5 equals 5. Okay. So we also are going to divide from here to here. So there we go. So we're also going to divide this by 5. Okay. So we're going to see that x equals 20 divided by 5. So x equals 20 divided by 5 is 4. So there we have that. Okay. So now we're going to get into another quick example of that kind of leads into how we're going to go about solving proportions. So what we can do here, so you can do a little bit of algebra, I guess, what you could say, is that we have, so we'll have x over 5 equals 20 over 25. So what we can do is we can multiply both of these by 5, both sides of the equation by 5. Okay, so these 5's cancel out over here. So we get x equals, all right, 20 over 25 times 5. So if we wanted to, we could put this over 1. Okay, so 20 times 5 in the numerator over 25 times 1. We don't really just know that that's 25. So this equals, all right, 100 over 25. All right, how many quarters are in 100 cents? All right, 4 of them. 100 divided by 25 is 4. Okay, so this leads us into how we can go about solving this using cross multiplication and division. So what we're going to see is that we can go from here, we can multiply these two numbers together and multiply these two numbers together and set them equal to each other. So let's do that over here, off onto the side over here. So, all right, so we got x times 25 just gives us 25x equals 5 times 20 is 100. Okay, so we can see we're starting to move towards this area down here, something similar. All right, now how do we solve for x? Just a one-step equation. We're going to divide by 25. We're going to divide by 25. 25's cancel each other out, so we get x equals 4. Okay, so here we go. And this was our cross multiplication, and then we divided with our one-step equation. So let's do that for our next example, a little bit cleaner down here. So we got 5 over 7 equals 30 over x. So again, we've got these two numbers here. We're going to multiply together, and we have these two here. We're going to multiply together. Okay, so we have 5 times x gives us 5x. All right, 5x equals, all right, 7 times 30 is 210. 7 times 3 is 21. Let's add another 0 at the end, right? Okay, so now we have 5x equals 210. Okay, so how do we go about solving this, right? Just a one-step equation. Let's divide this by 5, divide this by 5. Now let's go back to our neutral color. So these cancel each other out. So we get x equals 210 divided by 5. We can do it, maybe do some long division if you don't know it immediately. All right. So we got 210 divided by 5. All right, 5 does not go into 2, but it goes into 21 4 times. 4 times 5 is 20, minus 1 minus 0 is 1. All right, bring down the 0. 5 goes into 10 twice. We know 2 times 5 is 10. So we get a remainder 0, so we get x equals 42. So again, we cross multiplied. That gives us our 5x equals 210, and then we divided. So that is going to be how we go about solving proportions. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something.